I think his more recent one is on. I think it's on Netflix. It's called Freaks.
Yeah,
yeah,
that must be. Yeah,
which was like last year. I think that one came out. So he's still
awesome. He's still going. It's cool.
But that guy is a tremendous underrated actor. That guy's really good.
I mean, Lords of Dogtown.
Have you seen? Yeah, Lords of Dogtown is great. We actually did an episode on that.
If you want to go check it out.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, what would you guys rate the film, dude?
For me, I say a 9.
Yeah, I'd give it a 9, solid 9, definitely.
Yeah, same here.
Another watch.
Yeah, same here. I would totally watch it at midnight and just chill out.
I would say the same because honestly, I told my homie like, "Yo, have you seen this yet?" And he was like, "Nah." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna bust out the projector and we're gonna watch it in the back, dude." So it's definitely a worthy watch. Maybe a few more times.
Yeah,
you know, I already honestly, I could say I watched this film 3 times. One without actually viewing it. Just listen to this movie and it's fucking still good, dude. Like, I don't know if you guys ever done that with a film. Just listen to it and don't even watch the visuals.
I've never done that to a movie I've never seen.
You know what I mean?
I would probably watch the movie first and then the second time listen to it if I didn't like it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've definitely watched movies without sound, too. I put music over them. I already do that with the videos. But, yeah, this movie you could probably, like, gif it out with, like, the autopsy scenes and make a good little background, like, music and stuff, like, for people that are, like, love that gritty horror stuff, like some Tower Bar shit, you know what I mean?
Definitely. That's a great segue into, I didn't want to forget to mention this, but Mondo, a couple years ago, I think it was, like maybe last year or 2 years ago, they released this soundtrack on vinyl, and it's such a beautiful piece of art. When I got it in the mail, it comes in a sleeve, like a body bag sleeve that you open. That you open up, and when you open up the vinyl, the gatefold jacket, it's like her torso folds out, and then you like take you take out the obviously the vinyl, and it's like fleshy colored. It's amazing.
Wow. That's a really good thing.
You have to, and the promo, maybe we'll use that as like a promo for the episode, but Mondo did shoot a promo for it where it was like they were bringing the vinyl into like the operating room, and like they treat it as a real corpse, but it's like just the fucking, like the piece of art. So it's pretty cool. You guys should check that out if you haven't seen it yet. I don't know if they're repressing that. It might be out of print now. I'm sure you could find it on eBay if anybody's out there is a collector, like a vinyl junkie like me. But I got one when they were released, and I'm stoked about that. All right, so this week I was able to find some pretty interesting ones, and we'll start. Legendary writer Stephen King was actually very unsettled by this film, even endorsing it.
Wow.
Ooh.
He doesn't even endorse his own movie.
The Shining sucks. Originally, Martin Sheen, who is Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen's dad, was going to play the role of Tommy, aka the father, but ended up having to leave the project last minute, which led to Brian Cox replacing him. Which is funny because Brian Cox is definitely, I think, my favorite part of the film. I think him imitating like a coroner is so goddamn believable throughout this. Like
his demeanor and everything.
Yeah, so intelligent and like heartbreaking at the same time.
I love how he kept on correcting Emil Hirsch.
Yeah,
and like kind of trying to prepare him to take over the business and school him on like terminology and not jumping to conclusions before you've actually determined a cause of death.
Yeah, it was like his like little rookie mistakes. But then with the character development is pretty interesting. Is that he's telling Austin's telling her his girlfriend the whole time, like, "Yo, I'm just doing this as a favor to him. I do not want to do this as a career," you know. So it
that sucks.
creates like some weird tension later on.
I do like to talk about the film that he does call out. Like, he's like, "Yo, if you got a job, you better make sure you do that shit all the way through," which got them killed, but still, it's a good lesson to teach your kid and stuff. So, like, don't do shit half-assed or something. You know what I mean?
Definitely. The movie actually, and this is answering James's question, the movie had a micro budget of just $6 million.
Nice.
Well spent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would say the majority of this budget probably went into effects because, like Diego said, it's very much a lot of practical work. I think they're going to allow this film to age so much better. You know what I mean? Like 10 years from now, you're going to bear... Because the CGI, like, again, how Diego was saying, is so subtle, you don't even realize it's there. And that's something that a lot of modern horror films forget. You know, they rely way too heavily on CGI where you just can't take it seriously. The Jane Doe body seen through the film is in fact a real person the entire time. Owen Kelly was a very experienced yoga enthusiast who was able to control her breathing and body movements effectively for the camera. So basically, she was that actress was the first person auditioned for that role, and the director knew right away, like, yo, there's something about this girl, and he's totally right. Like, her just aesthetically, she's fucking creepy, dude.
Yeah, it looks horrendous.
Like, I feel like just the image of her is so iconic, you know, already.
That's why I brought up Siren, because I feel like the vibes between the two chicks, like the one from Siren and this one, the Jane Doe, were very similar. They're just very creepy, and they have like a certain skin crawl to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, these two movies go like hand in hand, back to back. Horror movies for like chicks. Well, even though the main characters were dudes, but you know, without them, you wouldn't have the movie. So for sure, it was good. It's perfect casting.
Definitely. Director Overdahl is actually a Norwegian filmmaker, and this actually marked his first ever English language film, his crossover piece. The film's small cast actually did do research by hanging out with real coroners for an X amount of time. So they wanted to get like the all the small details and like mannerisms of what coroners nowadays would be like, and I feel like they really did nail that. Both Brian Cox and Emil Hirsch were completely believable the entire way. Especially, it's even more impressive because a lot of the spotlight is based on them and them interacting with each other and bouncing back, and you know, their chemistry as father and son is quite good.
Yeah, their chemistry was top notch.
Most films are actually not shot in chronological order, as we know. However, this is a rare case in which the film was actually shot by shot as we saw it, done on film.
Nice.
Well, that's cool.
I think the reason for that being with this, because of the autopsy actual scenes, like had they hopped around, it wouldn't really work, and they probably would waste money with prosthetics and, you know, weird technicalities. So to kind of keep the continuity thriving, they did it like in real time, which I think is it's kind of weird that more movies don't do that, you know, because they kind of create headaches later on trying to match tones and match wardrobes and all this kind of stuff that you just kind of naturally forget, and you try to replicate, and sometimes it doesn't work, you know, and you can see it later on, your mistakes. So that's interesting. In my final swan fact of the evening, when the when this film was actually first released in 2016, it dropped on VOD first to later come into theaters like a couple weeks later, which caused obviously its box office numbers to be staggered. So
That's weird.
yeah, I think it was just because it was a small indie picture, I would think. Also, the almost all of the movie reviews for this, although the word of mouth isn't quite as big as you would hope for something that it was so well received, all of the reviews that you can look up online are largely positive, which is pretty cool. I just wish there was a lot more press and marketing for this. Like you're not gonna find like an Autopsy shirt or like any kind of merch for this movie, but hopefully me saying this is gonna put that energy into the air, and then somebody's gonna start making.
You never know.
Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Hey, it always happens. So.
Just at least give credit to where credit is due.
I want to give a kudos to those people in that profession, because that is not an easy job.
It's
and I know I wouldn't be able to for 8 hours a day cut into someone's chest, and just I can't watch anything on like TV that has to do with surgery, because that grosses me out.
Not an easy job, but it's so necessary, and especially in today,
and they get paid really well.
Just killing people, or people are getting in car crashes, or a lot of shit like that. Without these guys, we wouldn't know a lot of shit, So
it's definitely a needed job. But I'm just saying, like good job for those guys. If a coroner is listening to this,
there's only two of them.
You're awesome.
In this movie. Where's like the other people? Where's like?
Because
they have like a team of 10 or something.
Yeah, I think it's their small
small
office, small town, and also a small office. Usually, when you have like 10 or even 15 people working in an autopsy or mortuary. Usually they're big, but like in small towns you just need like maybe 2 or 3 people tops. Because usually small towns don't have that much of incidents and stuff, if anything. Usually big cities like LA or even us, San Diego, we need like a big mortuary and stuff. But
I know mortuaries themselves, there usually not that many, even in San Diego, there's not that many people working in one. Usually it's like 3 or 4 people at the most.
Shout out to my little sister. She actually does that.
Nice. It's a hard job, though. It's a hard job if you don't have a really good.
This movie is dedicated to her.
Yeah. You have to go. You have to go to. I think you have to go to college for that, right? To get to be certified.
Dude. Yeah. It take the brain, dude.
Yeah, you have to get certified. What else, Diego? It's your turn. Your pick.
I think I talked to you about it last week.
Oh yeah.
So for next week, we're kind of taking. We're still staying in the spooky season.
Halloween vibe.
But we are doing 93. 93's Hocus Pocus.
Nice. I've never seen that movie.
I think I was talking to Wesley about it. I was like, you know what? Like I told him, what have you guys done Hocus Pocus? And he replied to me like, we usually don't do Disney movies.
Well, it's definitely a classic that you could appreciate. I do it. I'm glad you picked it, dude. Honestly, I grew up on that, dude.
It's funny you picked that, because I have been wanting to pick that for the last couple of probably 2 years, the last 2 Halloweens, but just never wanted to go ahead and do it just because I thought it was too kiddie. But I'm glad someone was dumb enough to do it.
I mean, I've been wanting to
I'm
do
just
it.
kidding.
It was
I'm just kidding.
it was either between this or Jurassic Park, which are both equally